Well, it looks like some woke college students have effed around and found out only sort of. Now, there's been, all this nonsense going on campus. When I was in college, and I was in college for 6 years, okay, I worked full time. And when I wasn't at work, I was doing schoolwork. When I wasn't doing schoolwork, I was at work. And when I wasn't doing work, I was doing schoolwork. I even drove home 2 hours to my hometown to work on the weekends at a job that paid me much better. I don't know where these students now have all this insane amount of free time to be doing die-ins and protests and make banners. But clearly they aren't learning anything in school, or they're not being challenged enough. I think most college stuff is obviously college is just about making money, and it's largely a scam. I say that as somebody with a master's degree. Okay. We saw the kerfuffle going on with Harvard yesterday, where they have lost $1 billion, $1 billion in donations already because of their insane policies on, letting students, chant for the erasure of an entire race of people. They're fine with that, but you can't misgender anybody, of course. But now some of these woke students, I guess, are being arrested. So now they have re-rolled out, by the way, the Harvard doxing truck hounds Claudine Gay, the best friend Hamas ever had. The Harvard doxing truck has shifted to hounding the Ivy League school's embattled president, flashing her image and the message Claudine Gay, the best friend Hamas ever had, the Post has learned. The nonprofit news watchdog Accuracy in Media, which first made headlines by revealing the names of the Harvard students affiliated with a pro-Hamas letter following the October 7th attacks, deployed 4 billboards bearing trucks outside of her home on Tuesday. I'm not sure there's a lot of value in putting it outside her home, but there's that, I guess. Each truck idling near her residence, which is a prominent building on the school's campus. Oh, okay, it's on the campus. Scroll through direct messages, took aim at the 53-year-old. One implored her to resign, while another digital billboard claims she refuses to protect Jewish students. Accuracy in Media president Adam Gillette, who had also targeted University of Pennsylvania president Liz McGill before she resigned over the weekend, said it was vital to keep the pressure on Harvard despite the school board's decision to stick with her. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think accountability is incredibly important, and we've never counted on universities to hold out their out-of-control presidents accountable. This is where we come in, Gillette told the Post on Wednesday. I think she needs, one, to put a greater focus on protecting Jewish and pro-Israel students on campus. One, put a greater focus on protecting Jewish and pro-Israel students on campus. And two, stand up to Terry sympathizers on campus. Well, over at Brown University, which is another extremely rich, I believe it's also considered an Ivy League school, had 41 students arrested and booked for occupying a university building yesterday. You mean having an insurrection? I mean, I don't know. They were photographed, fingerprinted, and provided their arrest paperwork on site. University spokesman said, this disruption to secure buildings is not acceptable, and the university is prepared to escalate to the level of criminal charges for future incidents of students occupying secure buildings. Well, I'm not exactly sure that matters. Now, remember, Brown previously had charges dropped against 20 students after one of their classmates lost their life in Vermont. It'll be interesting how this plays out this time. After the charges were dropped, Brown students shouted the president down at a vigil for the student who was lost. So she might be less inclined to be lenient this time. I mean, you're starting to see actual stuff get enforced. 41 students arrested, booked within University Hall following second sit-in demanding divestment and ceasefire. Providence Police Department and Brown Department of Public Safety officers arrested and booked 41 students from Brown Divest Coalition who occupied a university hall this afternoon to demand that the president of the university support the divestment from Israeli military occupation and call for a ceasefire. Why? Why is that the university president's job? I'm confused. Why is that? I mean, what do these kids? These kids have no homework to do. They don't have any like. They don't have anything better to do. This is what they have going on. Law enforcement first entered University Hall at 5:17 p.m. The Herald received confirmation from BDC spokesperson Carla Humphreys that the students were booked inside University Hall under trespassing charges. To expedite the process and avoid processing arrests at two locations, Brown DPS arranged with the Providence Police Department to conduct all arrest processing on site at the University Hall. Week. Should have taken them into the police station, put them in the back of a cop car, and let them think about their actions. University spokesperson Brian Clark wrote in a statement to the Herald, students were photographed, fingerprinted, and provided their arrest paperwork in lieu of being detained in physical custody. See, you got to stop treating these adults, these full-grown adults, you got to stop treating them like children. This is how you end up with, all these mostly peaceful events, riots, protests, or whatever the case is. You have all these like skinny white rich kids throwing bricks through windows and hitting people with bike locks and doing all this kind of stuff. It's because for their entire lives, they've had no consequences. They can do whatever they want. The disruption to secure buildings is not acceptable, and the university is prepared to escalate the level of criminal charges for future incidents of students occupying secure buildings. The arrest comes just over 1 month after 20 members of Jews for Ceasefire were charged with trespassing after staging a University Hall sit-in calling for divestment and a ceasefire. The charges were later dropped following a Palestinian student who died. Given that this is the second prominent incident in recent weeks of students trespassing in a secure, non-residential building after operating hours, the university fully expects to recommend more significant criminal misdemeanor charges for any future incidents after the December 11th sit-in. I mean, you can sit anywhere you want, right? You go sit in the quad. Do people still say in the quad? The article continues, according to Clark, students were informed of their arrest at 6 p.m. Starting at the 6:40 p.m., law enforcement began releasing students already booked from inside the University Hall on alternating sides of the building, according to JFCN. The crowd of approximately 400 people gathered to support demonstrators split up to greet protesters with cheers and embraces as they were released. I don't even understand. Like, do these kids, it's like they have no consequences. What they really think they did something here. They really think they did something here. You know what I mean? They really think that they fought the power by sitting in I don't know, I bet you, what do you think the tuition is here? They're sitting at a $65,000 a year tuition school. It is $65,000 to attend Brown University per year. And these idiots really thought sitting in the library for 20 minutes past close was really doing something. They really fought the power. Now, I don't know. Apparently, these kids don't have enough homework. They don't have enough homework. They're like those losers that are putting orange paint on Christmas trees. It's so weird to me that these weirdos, they really look, it's harmless. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that they shouldn't, be able to express their First Amendment rights. Fine. I think they should be able to do that. But when they're protesting, when they're breaking the law, when they're trespassing, there has to be charges. Because it's like I said, it's a slippery slope. They start trespassing, and then it goes to throwing rocks through windows, or spray painting other people's property, or gluing themselves to the road, or doing any other a myriad of other insane things, which is insane to me. But it's good to see some of these people getting some consequences. But what is a $100 trespassing ticket that mommy and daddy will pay, right along with their $65,000 a year tuition, plus another $50,000 a year in room and board? Get out of here. I guess it's something.